Let's use a video game analogy for finding and following your passion or living a meaningful life. So in a video game, you create a character. So I'm talking about mostly RPG games, adventure games. You create your character, you build your character. Maybe it's a warrior, mage, cleric, thief, whatever you enjoy playing. But in life, we don't really build our characters. We uncover who we are, what we're good at, what we want to do, what others want from us, or what life calls us to do. And you could say you create your character, but there's always that base of who you are. And you have to discover that base for yourself. And so we have some ability to create, I would say, but there are restrictions, at least from what I've seen, just from living my life and helping people with this. So I'm not going to become an astronaut, a sports star, because of how my body is built. I won't go into that, but on the other hand, or the astronaut thing, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in anything related to that, or related to engineering, physics, mathematics. Although I did show some promise in mathematics when I was younger, but it's not something that was interesting to me. What I'm more interested in is the structure of how our experience works, and the structure of writing something, creating something creatively in that direction. So we have a character that we uncover, and we uncover it by going on quests and gathering experience. So you learn what you can do, you learn what you can't do. You learn what you want to do, and you also learn what you don't want to do. So if you're young, mostly you're learning what you don't want to do, because you're experimenting a lot. You're trying on different ideas and different concepts, different jobs. And you're stuck in a world usually of shoulds, musts, rituals, a lot of what people have told you that you should do, how you must be, how you ought to live. And so you're experimenting with all that. And usually if you're dissatisfied, you've created a box out of those concepts and shoulds and ideas. So going on quests means experimenting with them and seeing that they are imaginary shackles holding you back. And when you play a video game, there's no real purpose to playing the video game except enjoying what you're doing. If you enjoy the game, you keep playing. Now obviously a video game is structured to give you quick rewards, dopamine hits and all that. But there's a parallel to life, because if you feel like life doesn't have a purpose, that's another idea. Purpose is a concept that we've learned. We've learned, okay, purpose is this, and we should have purpose in our lives so we can keep going, so we can move forward. But when you play a video game, you're simply experimenting. You're enjoying what you're learning and discovering. So you're enjoying the dance. You're not thinking about where the dance is going, how the dance is built, or how the game is built. And so it's almost as if when you forget about purpose and passion and meaning, you come back to the present moment. Because when you are stuck in thinking, I don't have any meaning in my life, I don't have purpose, you're in your head. Because those are concepts, and in order to use concepts, you need to use this. And you feel your thoughts. So if you think, okay, life is meaningless, everything is pointless, I'm worthless, you will feel that. And that leads to usually piling on more thought. Coming up with stories that validate what you just thought. And so the spiral goes down and keeps on going down, and you feel worse and worse. And so eventually you feel so bad that you want to do something to feel better, which leads to usually things like eating, addiction on the negative end, and on the other end, over-exercising, meditating 4 hours a day, and just performing these things that we think make us feel better, instead of seeing how we actually create our reality. And it's usually only in hindsight we see the purpose of our lives. We see the themes of who we are, because as we uncover our character and our strengths and weaknesses, we have a kind of destiny, you could say. Because if you play a video game and you are a strong warrior type, the destiny of that warrior is to use its strength to do warrior-like things. And in my life, my interest in writing and psychology and spirituality and all of this sets me on a path that you could call my destiny. So it's only in hindsight that I see these themes. And as you get older, the picture becomes clearer, but even then, things can change. But it's not about the purpose, because that's a concept. Even today, I've been doing what I do for over a decade, and I've been living like this, just following my interests and exploring this way of living life since around 2002. So I started young, and even today I'm not clear about what's coming. I don't necessarily know my purpose. I just know that I enjoy doing this. It's like my mind is observing what my body does. My body puts on the recording and my mouth talks. And sometimes my fingers write. And life just lives itself, you could say. And coming back to the concept of shoulds, the more you take on shoulds, the more rigid you become, because they become rituals, they become chains that hold you back from exploring life. It's kind of like if you're playing a video game and someone told you that you need to play this way because then you'll gain experience and level up faster. It's not as fun as just exploring the game. Maybe you die, maybe you don't. But you get to discover the game for yourself instead of playing someone else's idea. And so that's how many people live life. They've learned how they should live, what they must do. They've learned rituals of how to live life, and so they live life that way. But deep inside they feel a dissatisfaction. They feel the want to rebel against these imaginary chains. And it stops exploration, it stops the enjoyment of life. So there's no right way of living life, there's no right way of playing a game. It's about how you want to play. And when you play, when you make mistakes, and when you succeed, you discover more about yourself. You uncover who you are and what you want to do. And often what you want to do and who you are is not what your mind thinks you should be. Because your mind has taken on concepts and ideas from the outside world. So there's no need to try and conform to your own ideas of what life should be, because there's something else going on. You feel interested and drawn to certain things, but you may stop yourself thinking, oh, I'm not good at that, I shouldn't, because it won't lead anywhere, it doesn't have any meaning, I don't have any purpose. So you can get stuck in these mind games instead of exploring life and enjoying the game of life. So I'll stop there and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.